parts of it. But what she said as she left was, if you only paint landscapes, if you only painted landscapes, in other words, what to do with these. It doesn't fit into a world of entertainment, a world of fashion. Far removed, the fashion world is as far removed from the worlds of saints as it possibly can be. But I don't feel it's just saints, because I find only a certain difference in kind in the experience of painting saints than painting landscape or still life, as you see here, or the nude human figure, which I care greatly about. And what happened was that I read Katsantzakis, and I became interested in saints. And I must say I was about 40 when this painting was done. So it was a real discovery to begin to read and find out that there are indeed such a thing as saints. And what really clinched it further was the next painting in the sequence here, which is Saint Therese of Lisieux. And Saint Therese of Lisieux, who died at the age of 27, was a most extraordinary human being. I read her Little Way. I read the excerpts of the Catholic proof of being a saint. And at the same time, I had just been reading Ulysses Grant's memoirs, which Edmund Wilson considers, along with Tacitus, to be the greatest military history ever written, and the biography of General Pershing, who was the American general of the First World War. And I found in Saint Therese of Lisieux more of the military virtues, more fortitude, more courage, more obedience, more of everything that I had in these great military figures. So, if I can refer to the Frank Stella interview of 1972, which I saw the other day and spoke to you about, what was admirable about that is he describes how he responded to the excesses of abstract expressionism, the fact that a lot of bad painting was coming out, in which instead of it being a gesture, it was the painting of the gesture, do you see, instead of being the gesture itself, in some of the followers in the painting. And he wanted to get rid of all of that, and he wound up by becoming very severe, very flat. Those were those black paintings. He was seeking to be absolutely flat. I am every bit as abstract in my approach to painting as Frank Stella or Rothko or any of these people. The thing that I abstract is from the appearance of the nature, and I'm dealing with the same materials that, of course, they are. It's only paint on a flat surface. I approach the work directly from the nature. This in itself, the degree of time spent, I mean, perhaps 100 sittings, 60 to 100 sittings for any one of these paintings, with the nature present, not copying the nature, but working from it. That already places it in a different category from anything in the past, in the Renaissance, for example, in the 17th century or the 19th century. This concentration on the specifics of the actual subject. It begins with a finder. How high for how wide? The first 4 lines of the composition. And in the drawing process, as I have taught for years, you set up the big design in terms of 4 or 5 or 6 big shapes, cutting out to the edge, which you can see clearly, I think, in this painting. How far down do you go? How far are things? And then how high for how wide is matched by what is the posture, what is the direction, and that's where the plumb line comes in. Everything has posture. Clouds have posture. This has posture. Human beings have posture. Rocks have posture. Trees have posture. Everything has posture. How far, by how much, downhill to the right or downhill to the left of the world vertical? To build that into your eye is really an extraordinary process. It's the world vertical. It's gravity. Matisse said it took him 3 years to build it into his eye. I do what Alvin Nicolai said, you must divorce yourself from yourself. You've got to get all of your preconceptions out of your head. The preconceptions, our own and others, the emotionalism, the intellectualism, the storytelling, all of the garbage that we bring in when we use our eyes get in the way and prevent you from using your own eye and see. You will copy somebody else's style, you will copy somebody else's manner, but you won't see. So these are abstractions, do you see, in the Latin sense of the word, abstraho, drawn from the relationship of how light for how dark, how warm for how cool. And because they're taken from a particular model, they bring all kinds of designs within designs within designs. So that the person looking at it, whether they're aware of all of this or not, is responding immediately and tangibly to an energy, do you see, that comes out of the subject. And what this says about the subject and its relationship to 20th century art is, it seems to me, pretty important. This is going at, if I may say, reintroducing the subject into painting in a completely contemporary 20th century immediate way, or 21st century way now. When you have the first 4 lines, do you see, that you set up arcs and angles that continue outside the picture. I mean, you get it in all of these. I mean, for instance, here you have an arc that projects itself as a segment of an arc that would continue out, or the same down in here. Do you see? That is an arc that implies more. And I've noticed this, that it carries the abstraction, the sense of the composition. It helps to detach from what it is, and it gives you something larger that extends beyond the border of the picture itself. So that's, again, really, really contemporary, opening up all kinds of aspects of gestures through the specific designs within the design, rather than work that's been done out of the head, following a pattern book, for instance, the way Ingres and Degas followed pattern books and developed and worked from them. They start with the art, I start with the life.